If you had to pick between these two athletic careers, which are you choosing? Option 1, you are the absolute GOAT of a niche sport. You are the Michael Jordan. You are the greatest of all time. People look up to you when they want to play this sport. You are the pioneer. You are a visionary. You are the greatest of all time. The only problem is you're only pulling in about $3,400 per year when it comes to actually playing this sport. You need to have a job on the side just to support yourself and your family. Option number 2, you are the 12th man on an NBA roster. You don't get playing time, you sit the bench most of the time, you only get in around garbage time, you do make about $1 million per year, you get top-notch healthcare, you get top-notch everything that comes with being a pro athlete. However, your career only lasts about 3 to 4 years, but you do set yourself up for the future because you are financially stable. One path, you are the undisputed king of niche sports. You're just struggling a little bit financially. And the second option, you are set up for life financially, but you have chronic pain and you're not really a household name. So which would you pick? Drop your answer in the comments before I let you know the brutal realities of each of these options. Because I'm going to break down the real numbers and the consequences of each pick, and how people aren't talking to you about the mental health crises, the tolls that it takes on your body, and everything that agents won't tell you if you make it to the big time. So by the end of this video, you're going to be questioning everything you know about sports, and it's going to help you answer the question, would you rather be the greatest of all time in a niche sport or a no-name when it comes to the professional level? So let's paint the picture of what it means to be the absolute king of a niche sport. Imagine this, you are in the Ultimate Frisbee Championships and you are the greatest player of all time. But when people think about Ultimate Frisbee, they don't think about the sport itself. They think about you and your level of dominance on the game and how you have redefined and pioneered how the game is played. You're not just competing against other players, you are competing against the limits of human possibility at this rate. Take Joey Chestnut, for example. He is the greatest of all time when it comes to professional eating. And when you think of the hot dog eating contest, you're not thinking about the brand of hot dogs that they're eating. You're thinking about Joey Chestnut and the level of dominance that he performs every 4th of July. He's the greatest of all time when it comes to this, breaking his own records year in and year out. It's not if he's gonna win, it's how much he's gonna win by. And let's talk about what dominance on a day-to-day level in these niche sports are about. A lot of people who are some of the greatest in the niche sports category say that it is a very fascinating feeling. Because they say that whenever you are the best at something, you're not just playing the game, you are a pioneer, and you are building the future for what the sport can look like for years to come. Your techniques are taught by coaches for years on end. People are diving deep into your regime and making sure that they follow the steps of the greatest of all time. Rules are changed because of how you play or perform. You are not just an athlete in this situation, you're an inventor. You are changing the landscape of this niche sport. And something that is awesome about niche sports is the genuine human connection that you can make with people. Because a lot of these fans in niche sports aren't just fans. They look up to you. They don't know you just as an athlete. They know your entire life story. They remember everything about you, your quirks, how you warm up, everything from your career that you may have even missed. They know because they are so invested in the sport and you're the greatest of all time. I watched the Ultimate Frisbee Championships, and one thing that really stuck out to me is whenever one of the better players on the team made a huge play, the crowd wasn't just cheering because they were excited about their team doing well. They were genuinely excited for the person that made that play because, again, there is a genuine human connection when it comes to these niche sports. So there's not just 20,000 fans in the stadium who want to watch the team succeed. There's 20,000 people in the stands who genuinely want to watch you succeed. And a lot of these people feel a genuine connection with you. There have been Frisbee players out there who have said fans have come up to them, not asking for an autograph, not asking for a picture, but to help them with their technique so they can get better and hopefully get to the level of dominance that they're at. So in niche sports, you pretty much have creative freedom to do whatever you want. You aren't locked in to a strategy or coaching that has been going on for decades like at the professional level. You are an innovator and you are able to change the way games are played. Like, consider this, in Ultimate Frisbee, there are no referees. Fouls are called by the players and it is played by the spirit of the game. And as a superstar and one of the greatest of all times, you're not even just shaping the play on the field. You're shaping the rules, the officiating, how people look up to the game, how people respect the game. There is a lot of nuance that goes into this. You're not just an athlete when it comes to this. You are a cultural leader. Now, the brutal reality of being a niche sport athlete is you are not financially stable whatsoever. Some athletes in niche sports are only pulling in about $300 to $700 per season. They're pretty much doing this for the love of the game. Even at your absolute best, if you are the greatest of all time, in some niche sports, you're maybe pulling in a couple $1,000s. In 2022, Khalif El-Salam ended up signing with the Atlanta Hustle, signing a deal that paid him $3,400 per year. And this was a huge deal in the ultimate realm because that has never been seen before. You make that much money in one single game in the pros. The average salary per year for somebody who is in a niche sport is around $54,000 per year. But that's not just for playing. That's for running camps, that's for sponsorships, that's for actually playing the game, and sometimes that's also for having a full-time job. Very few people can make a full-on living wage from their professional niche sport. So yeah, again, most of these people who are really good in their niche sports, yeah, a lot of them are able to financially secure themselves. But if you want even more money, you're gonna have to take on a second job and use your PTO and vacation days to go to tournaments. A lot of these players are software engineers or teachers who are able to use their summers to compete in the sport that they love. Or even some of them are consultants where they can work remote and still travel for their tournaments while also getting paid a full-time salary. A few players have described waking up at 8 a.m., working till 5 p.m., and then training for their sport until dark and repeating the cycle every single day. And they're not making that much money at all. It is strictly for the love of the game. And as a niche superstar, you are your own agent. You have to get your own brand deals, find your own equipment, your own travel expenses, your own hotel rooms, food, everything like that. You don't have an agent like you do on the pro level to do this all for you, tell you where to go, where to be, how to get there, how much it's going to cost. It's all done for you. But when you're in a niche sport, you do that all yourself. Some players in niche sports say that they spend up to 15 hours per week just getting all of this in order to make sure they can be at the right place at the right time and that they're not spending over their budget so they can support their family. It's almost like having a part-time job just to make sure that you can go play a sport. And yes, there are sponsorships that come into the niche sport category, but most guys are only getting like free equipment. They're not really pulling in the big major money that these guys are in the NBA or the NFL just to work with Nike. You might get free equipment here and there. You may get up to $5,000 per year, but that's nothing if you have to support yourself and a family, plus travel, plus everything else that goes with being an athlete. The only rare exception to this, again, is Joey Chestnut. He's pulling in about $500,000 a year just for sponsorships alone. But that guy has proven he is the Tom Brady of professional eating, where he is just winning year after year after year. And also, while these niche sports don't seem to have as much risk as it does being an NBA, an NFL, or an MLB player, you still have to factor in that you have to pay pretty much everything out of pocket if you get hurt. You don't have the elite medical staffs that comes with being a professional athlete. A few players even said that in the niche sport category, if you tear your ACL, it is sometimes super devastating, not just for your career, but for your life, because now you have to pay out of pocket, try to make sure you can rehab and get back to your sport. All at the same time, you're probably out of your full-time job, and that is hurting you financially as well. You could be screwed just from one injury. And this is a growing mental responsibility that a lot of guys have. If I get hurt, can I support my family? But then at the same time, you have a ton of people who are looking up to you. So you have to fight to get back just to play your sport. That is a huge burden on you when you're not making that much money. And a lot of times when you're talking to the local media about trying to promote your game, it is tough to do because a lot of people don't know who you are. They don't know your credibility, but you're also trying to build a sport that you love. There is a lot that's going on with it. You don't really have that name value as a guy who's sitting on the bench in the NBA because people look up to the professionals more than they do these niche athletes. Which there is an isolation factor when it comes to being a niche sport athlete. You go to a party and you try to explain to somebody that you're an athlete and they go, oh, what do? You a baseball player? You a football player? And you explain to them that you play video games for a living, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy. They're gonna question everything you're saying and whether what you do is actually real or not. Which a few players have said that this is really difficult on their dating life because a lot of these people that they're going out with don't understand that what they do is still considered a professional sport, but it's not on ESPN, it's not on ABC, so you can't really see it in action, so it's kind of hard to explain because you're also not pulling in the money to prove that you are a professional athlete. However, despite everything that I have just talked about when it comes to the brutal realities of being a niche sport athlete, a lot of them have said that they would never trade it for the world. They would rather be at the top of a niche sport than the 12th man on an NBA roster. They said that there is something so intoxicating about being genuinely the best at something and being a pioneer for a sport that you absolutely love. Where another athlete also said that even just one throw, if it could make up to 50 people happy, that is just awesome for them. That is the complete goal. Because even though 50 people have seen it, 50 people are so happy in idolizing exactly what you've been working your entire life to do. Before we jump to the professional side of the If You Had to Pick segment, I want to know from you, if you were able to be the greatest athlete of all time in a niche sport, which niche sport would you pick? Let me know in the comments, and also join the Discord server as well, because I would love to hear what you guys have to say. We could talk about niche sports all freaking night long. Doesn't matter to me whatsoever. I will talk to you guys about professional bowling on roller skates. Whatever you guys find fun, whatever you guys think is an awesome niche sport, make sure you're joining the Discord server so we can have some fun conversations about that. Let's completely flip the script now, and now you are not the star of your sport. You've made it on a professional level. However, you are pretty much a no-name. You're just a number on a roster, and you're not really going to get remembered. Let's start with some of the things that make it absolutely worth it just to be another number on a roster. And it's how much money you're going to pull in just per year being a professional athlete. The worst player on an NBA team every single year is pulling in about $1.16 million per year. That is having no other experience outside of college. You could be a rookie on a minimum deal, and you are still pulling in over $1 million per year. That's insane. You are sometimes earning more money in one single year than a niche athlete will earn in their sport throughout their entire career, and sometimes you're just sitting the bench. And over the last 3 seasons in the NBA, the average minimum salary has been about $3.5 million for a contract. That's enough to buy a house and put enough money away so it's compounding interest and you are set for the rest of your life. You literally never have to work again just by having a 3-year career in the NBA and being just a little bit smart with your money. And even as a minor role player on a professional team, you get access to some unimaginable things for the common folk. We're talking team doctors, physical therapists, chefs, agents who are gonna book everything for you. You don't have to lift a finger for most things. A typical day for you is you wake up, you're given food that is going to automatically be perfect for your body. You are then given a training regimen that is going to make you so much better when it comes to actually playing, and it is all laid out for you for the day. And even if you feel some sort of minor discomfort, you are going to get the top-notch care, and they're going to make sure that whatever is bothering you, you are going to have fixed within no time. And they have everything for you. MRIs, CAT scans, blood tests, whatever you need, they're going to do for you, and they're going to pay for it. And again, your travel, you're mostly on a private jet. You're staying in 5-star hotels. You are going to some of the best restaurants because you have this cash from your contract. You are set up to live your best life. Everything is handed to you and catered to you, so you are the best that you can perform whenever your name is called and your time has come to play. And even as a bench player in the NBA, you are part of something that is massive. The NBA is broadcast in over 200 countries with millions and millions of people watching every single game. You will have more people watching you in one game than somebody will probably be watching an Ultimate Frisbee Championship throughout a player's entire career. Even if you average 2 minutes per game, you still get a championship ring because you earned it. You are part of the team. You could be a part of highlight reels that kids will watch for decades and years down the line. You are part of something that is truly special in being a professional athlete. However, the dream of being a professional athlete can become a nightmare, more so on the NFL level, because you could be cut at any time with no guaranteed money. So your whole life's work, your identity, your future financially could be cut within the drop of a hat. A lot of NFL players say that there is an anxiety that goes on within a season, just knowing this could be my last paycheck, this could be my last game, this could be my last play, because if I make one mistake, the team could just get rid of me. So yes, the money is great, but you can never truly relax. Also in professional sports, trades happen all the time. You could be playing in Pittsburgh one year for the MLB, and then 2 weeks later, you can end up in Kansas City, traded to Detroit, traded to Los Angeles. You could be going all over the country because guys are moving pieces all the time in the front office, and you could be a part of that. And yes, the money is great when it comes to the professional level, but you have a ton of obligations. You have to play up to 82 games, plus you have to practice, attend media days, you have to travel to different cities. If you make the playoffs, you have to participate in those. Sometimes your season's going on for 8 or 9 months. You have a ton of obligations, and sometimes you just have no time for a personal life. And you are also expected to perform physically and mentally on a professional level every single night. You take one night off, that could cost your team, and everybody will be upset with you. Fans, coaches, players, you have to be on your game every single day. A few role players have described it like this. Imagine somebody shows up to your job, videotapes you, shows it to millions of people, and every mistake that you make gets criticized and critiqued by people on the internet for weeks. That would be excruciating on your mental health. Even some of the greatest players of all time at what they do at a professional level get scrutinized. Another thing about being a professional athlete is just the toll that it takes on your body because of all the games, the travel, everything that goes into it. It is tough on your body. Take, for example, the NFL. A study from Boston University said that 99% of former NFL athletes have CTE. That is just an insane rate. That means that pretty much every single guy who has stepped foot on the gridiron has something wrong with their brain. They start dealing with memory loss, cognitive depression. They start losing a lot of control of everything that makes them a human being. And this starts happening in your 30s to 40s. So your quality of life can be hindered just from a few seasons in a professional sport. And again, it's not just football. NBA players say that they deal with chronic knee pain, back pain, spinal pain. The list goes on from all of the torque and everything that you're putting on your body. Some former NBA players even ask themselves in their early to mid 40s, was it worth playing in the NBA, making all that money, because they are practically disabled at their age when they should be able to walk and move around. Sobering statistic is that an NFL career on average is 3 years and an NBA career is about 4 years. So you have 3 to 4 years to really lock in and make as much money as possible to set yourself up for the future while trying to put as little wear and tear on your body as possible. Careers are short, but you're going to feel the pain throughout the rest of your life. So is the money even worth it in that aspect? And one thing that has just recently come to light is the mental health crisis of being a professional athlete, because you are supposed to perform every single day. You are not supposed to make any mistakes or you will be scrutinized for weeks, months, years on end. Everything that you are doing is being watched and scrutinized by millions of people. You are supposed to perform even when you're injured because of the amount of money you're making. It is a large toll that is taking on your mental health. And a few players have come out and said that they've had everything they've ever wanted in their careers. Money, fame, success, but the pressure was weighing way too hard on them. But they weren't able to show a sign of weakness because that means they could lose their spot on the roster, which then means losing money. And then a lot of these guys have an identity crisis when it comes to the end of their careers because they do the same thing every single day. They wake up, they train, they have a regimen, and then by the time they retire or they're forced to walk away from their sport, they don't know what to do with themselves. Sure, you have a ton of money, but it is jarring when you are forced to just be out in the real world because you don't have everything handed to you and you have a regime that tells you what to do every single day. And that's why for NFL players, depression rates spike after they retire, suicide rates, divorce rates. It is a brutal thing whenever you get done playing a professional sport. And again, this also goes with the niche sports is the isolating factor. Yeah, you have a ton of money and you have people in your inner circle, but you have to be weary. Do they actually like you or do they like the fact that you just have a lot of money and you could get them things? Family dynamics change, people are calling you and asking for money. Sometimes it's a complex thing knowing, do these people actually like me or do they just want my money? And even just being a role player who barely plays every night, you're not representing yourself anymore. You're representing a team, and everything you do can be detrimental to the team. So you have to be on your best behavior even if you don't get into a game. A lot of guys have said that when they've made a mistake, they weren't letting themselves down. They were letting the team, the coaches, players, the entire city down. That is a lot weighing on your head. However, despite everything that I just brought up with the downfalls of being a professional athlete, a lot of guys still say that it is completely worth it because all you have to do is really work hard for a few years at the professional level. Yeah, it takes a while to get there, but when you achieve that success, you are set for life in just a few short years. And a lot of guys understand the price that they're going to pay, but if it means that their families can have financial freedom and their children and grandchildren are able to benefit from their success, they say it's completely worth it. I know that this is getting a little bit intense, so I want to ask you guys, if you were able to be a professional athlete who was just kind of a bench player, what sport would you pick? Let me know that in the comments. And also, hey, be sure to join the Discord server as well. I know that we were talking about what niche sport you would want to play. Let's talk about professional sports as well. So a few things that go into this question. Would you rather have a giant impact with the fans? So now that we've talked about the basics and what goes into being a niche superstar or a role player on a professional level, let's talk about the nuances and the hidden discrepancies. So again, for each of these paths, there are two fundamental ways that fans will connect with you. If you are a new superstar, most of these fans are going to look up to you on a genuine connection level. They are going to look through everything of your life. They want to know you on a personal level. When you're a professional athlete, people look up to you, people want to be like you, but they want to do it while they're still getting the satisfaction that their team is winning. For niche superstars, some fans just want to see that guy succeed regardless of the outcome. Most of the time on a professional level, the team has to win for you to be fully successful. Then we have the career longevity when it comes to a niche sport where, yes, you could play your sport a lot longer, but you're not making as much money. You have to probably have a full-time job. You have to handle everything that goes on with that sport. The travel, the accommodations, making sure your family's taken care of. And then you take a pro level and it's more of a sprint. You have a 3 to 4 year gap to make sure that you can make as much money as possible. Now, for your post-career, a lot of guys who are on a professional level, they have a network of people that can help them pretty much go anywhere. And you have name recognition value if you wanted to start up a camp, if you wanted to open up your own business. People are going to go and support you just because you were a professional athlete. And even though you are the greatest of all time as a niche superstar, sometimes when you're setting up your own coaching, your own camps, your own training sessions, it's going to be harder for you to get that financial backing than it would be if you were a professional athlete. And you also have to maintain the love of the sport, because people are going to look more into you because you don't have that name value of being a professional athlete. A lot of these professionals can run a camp, still not love the game, but they're going to get people flocking in because they're a professional. If you're a niche superstar, yeah, people are going to show up because you're good at your sport, but they'll be able to tell that you've lost love for the game. There is a lot that goes into this. I know that this was a long video, but it pretty much leads to the question, what kind of legacy do you want to leave? Do you want to be one of the greatest of all time? Do you want hundreds of thousands of people looking up to you instead of just watching you on TV and being excited when you make a play because it benefits their favorite team? Would you rather be somebody that people genuinely think about when they think about the niche sport that you have played? As a role player in a major league level, yes, you get all of those amenities that we've spoken about for years on end. You have financial freedom. You get a championship ring if you've won, but you don't have that lasting impact as if you were a superstar at a niche sport. So going down the deep dive of both of those paths, if you had to pick, would you rather be the greatest of all time at a niche sport, or would you rather be a role player on a professional level? I want to know what you guys have to say. And the truth is, there is no universally correct answer. Some people want to leave a lasting legacy. Some people just want to make as much money as possible to make sure their family and themselves are secure for years to come. Both of these paths, they require enormous sacrifices, but they both have their own different types of rewards. So again, I ask you, if you had to pick niche superstar or role player as a professional, what would you pick? And hey, if you like videos like this, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want more videos like this, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button and that bell notification. And if you want to give a suggestion for the next If You Had to Pick, please join the Discord server. That is where I take all of my suggestions. I would love to have you there. Come join the community. Come talk about sports with us. It will be awesome to talk about niche sports with you guys. So hey, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was a long one, but it was fun to research and put together the script. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you will be here for the next If You Had to Pick. Have a beautiful day, everybody, and I will see you all in the next episode. And check out our podcast that comes out every Monday and Friday, where we talk about sports throughout the week and answer questions and just kind of ramble on about what's going on in the sports world. So come check it out. Have a beautiful day. I will see you all in the next video. Peace.